A shocking new report says that the reservation team on Oak Island's curse has drilled to an odd depth and found signs of wealth. The big question now is this really it? It looks like there won't be a season 12 of the curse on Oak Island because of this new find on Oak Island. Watch to find out about this new finding. Rick and Marty finally find the prize they were looking for after months of drilling and looking through trash. The crew has been looking for the supposed wealth on this island, and it looks like they have made some progress. Marty and Rick went to the money pit to see how far the garden shaft probe digging operation had come. Rick and Marty are going to drive to the money pit area and check on the probe digging operation to see how things are going. As of this point, they had reached the depth of the tunnel that is meant to go straight west into the possible treasure zone. For now, the most important question is whether they can find the structure and break through it to see what it might hold. Since today is the last day of the situation, they need to pack up their gear. However, they have not been able to find what they were looking for. They are excited to find out what is at the bottom of the yard hole when they go to Oak Island, which doesn't want to share its secrets easily. They are standing on thick planks in the dark water at the bottom of their old shaft. They are both in the same place, using a detector to help them look for the legendary treasure that is said to be on Oak Island. At one point, they see something that looks good, and they are sure that it might be the prize, but they are also angry that they can't explore the lower levels of the shaft because it's the end of the year. They are happy about the find, but they are also angry when Gary cuts them off. They are getting ready to pull down the board and lengthen the shaft, but they have to stop for a short time because Gary finds a non-ferrous head through the roof. Once everyone on the crew knows how important the discovery is, they know they have to wait until the next season to move forward with their goal. Chuck, the main investigator, wrote down how far below the surface the treasure is while recording the find from the war room. This is a very big problem. Even though they've run into problems, Rick and Marty are grateful for their trip. They thank the other people on their team, especially their nephew Peter and their friend David. According to their plans, they are going to look into it more and see what information they can find. After digging for about 3 inches, they were able to get to their marked depth. When they got down to a depth of about 93 feet, they thought they were in the exact place they were looking for in every way. It is absolutely perfect now that they've reached what they think is the approximate depth of the tunnel that leads directly west into the possible treasure zone. The most important question is whether they can find the structure and study what it might hold. They thought it was the last part, so they decided to take it apart and do more study today, or at least before the sun went down. At the same time that they took out the rods and started to clean out the file, they put everything in a container and looked around to see what they could see. There is no doubt that Oak Island does not easily reveal her secrets. There was a strong desire in them to find out everything they could and, if possible, figure out what the piece of wood at the bottom of the yard shaft was. One member of the team was sure. He had hit wood on the northern side of the board after drawing a blank, even though the bullets didn't hit him directly. He had no trouble getting through the tunnel. Although he was shot, he did not get hurt directly from the bullet. Then they said that if they came at it from the side, they might be able to use it to project the line of the D-tube. When they realized it was possible, this happened. At this point, they hadn't performed a bottom-up study to find out exactly where the tunnel was. Following the triggering of their safety gear, they went down the shaft. Never in their greatest dreams did they think that this moment would happen. Even if they had thought about it after being apart for so long, it was almost like they were living out a childhood dream again. Now, in order to get these valuables, they are going deeper into the money pit, putting themselves in the same situation as people who have been there before them for hundreds of years. There is no way that this problem will be solved soon. Even though time is obviously running out, it's likely that whatever was meant to be found in this shaft was put there on purpose to make it easier to find. At that moment, they thought that using a metal detector would be helpful in some way. Since they didn't have much time left, they decided to ask a more experienced member of the team to use metal detecting gear to look into the hole and see what they could find. The search for the real treasure finally seems to be coming to an end after what seems like a lifetime. From the outside, it looked like the scenery had been carved out in the Middle Ages when the Templars were in charge. It was almost like they were prisoners locked up in a castle. The investigators were still trying to figure out what was in the hole, but they had a sneaking suspicion that it held a lot of modern nails and wire. They were very lucky to have their CTX 330, which not only let them make this finding but also had all the bells and sirens that are linked to unique features. They touched something right away, but it wasn't a target made of non-ferrous materials. It occurred to them that it might be gold, silver, or even copper, but they couldn't say for sure. At the very bottom of the garden shaft, which is only a few feet below the ground, is it even slightly possible that they found clues to the legendary riches that were said to be buried in Oak Island's murky soil? If that's the case, this would be a very interesting find. Additionally, it's possible that the signals are being sent through what is now thought to be a tube that goes westward towards the baby blob and is about 10 feet below the surface. There's another chance with this. It's a sad moment because Umar doesn't have the right paperwork to make the shaft bigger right now. Because of this moment is both sad and sweet. Also, they can't put the safety of their team or the project's continued success at risk by trying to break through the shaft's bottom to look at what might be unstable ground below. The level of excitement they talk about when they mention a non-ferrous hit would make it dangerous to do this. The finding of a non-ferrous strike, on the other hand, is a happy event because it means there is a metal that is not ferrous. Umar doesn't have the legal permissions to extend the shaft much further at this time of the year, so the event is both exciting and emotional. This is what caused the event to happen. At this point in time, there is no longer any chance that the shaft can be made longer. Realizing that this goal can't be reached is a very disappointing realization to deal with. It's possible that both the glacial tumulus system and the series of water-filled and hydrite holes under Oak Island caused the pit to flood. Often, Oak Island is a very important place because it is on top of a tumulus system that was made of ice. Tumuli, which are rocks that were formed by ice over time, make up Oak Island. In the presence of water, this type of limestone is very likely to dissolve, allowing caves and other natural holes to form during this process. Bedrock might be found at depths of 38 to 45 meters, which are about 125 to 148 feet close to the dig pit. Since the 18th century, people have been constantly looking for treasures and relics, putting in a huge amount of work to do so. Various artifacts have been said to be on the island, including the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, and writings attributed to Shakespeare. This video basically shows Rick and Marty as they explore the island in search of the legendary wealth believed to lie beyond it. This episode reveals that the team has reached the money pit area and has dug to a depth that is about the same as the tunnel thought to lead straight west into the treasure zone. Despite this, they still haven't found the structure they were hoping for and are eager to continue their search at the bottom of the yard column, using their devices to identify what might be a valuable target while exploring the shallows. This potential treasure is complicated by Gary's discovery of a non-ferrous head through the roof, which interrupts their line of thought. The group knows they will have to wait until the next season to continue their search, and after contemplating the importance of their findings, it is pointed out to Chuck that the treasure lies a long way below the surface, away from the fight room. The team feels excited about what's to come and appreciates the support of their community, even though they have encountered some problems along the way. If you're enjoying this video, it's very important that you sign up and turn on post notifications to be informed when the next Discovery video is released. There is no question that many people would attempt to claim at least some of the money that is said to exist. It's impossible to say which of these people will succeed, though, because it's hard to predict the outcome. The Lena brothers and the government are the two groups most likely to gain from the treasure in the end. That being said, neither of these groups can independently claim that they deserve the potential perks that come with being wealthy. All of these individuals would have a right to a certain amount of the treasure, establishing a real claim to that portion. However, this should not encompass the entire amount. For now, the only way to determine if such a scenario will ever unfold again in the context of Oak Island is to watch how time progresses. There is no other way. If you like what you see so far, subscribe to the channel. After they finished their work, the study team gathered in a room to discuss their findings and observations. Although there were some setbacks, they believed that things would turn out differently the next time they tried. Despite these challenges, progress was still made. They not only thanked their community for their unwavering support but also informed everyone that they are getting closer to discovering the ultimate answers that will end the curse for good. As the quest nears its conclusion, they are also preparing for the next phase of their journey, set to begin in the spring of the following year. The search is now over, and what the hosts are saying fills them with excitement about what the future holds. Want to know what they found? Now click on the next video.